Okay guys, we're on to week 10 of the mock prep now. Since my last check-in, I had 5 days of refeeding, a little extra carbs, but mostly fat loading. I didn't really understand the concept of fat loading before, but I trust coach's plan, and mock prep is the time to try new things. My weight is still 90 kilos, but I think I'm looking fuller and leaner now. I always like to practice my symmetry poses first. When I first started, I didn't even really know symmetry poses were a thing. I didn't really know much at all about posing, but they seem, these are sort of some of the mandatory ones, so I like to get them down. It's the side poses I tend to struggle with the most, especially when you compare side to side. Getting them symmetrical, which I guess is the point, is very difficult. I practice both blind posing and mirror posing so that sometimes I can see myself and sometimes I can't. And I think that does help a lot because having the mirror there lets you pick out the details and see what you should do. But on an actual show day, there is no mirror. You just got to know what to do. Anyway, on to the other poses. I think my front double biceps, the arms and abs are looking crisp and the legs have improved a lot, but they're still a little blurry. I think transitioning from abs to a vacuum will look really good on stage. And I really like to go from the Sergio Oliva overhead as a transition into a most muscular, and then from most muscular into like the front lat spread or something like that. The other variants of the most muscular, they were a little iffy during this check-in, but I think, the abs are mostly there, and that's nice, I guess. Onto the left side chest with this one. Getting better at the leg position, but I always got to wiggle it a bit. And unfortunately this week, I think it had some gaps, around the elbows, and we don't want any gaps. We want to just look massive. But the left side try was looking good as usual. Abs are switched on, chest and shoulders looking good. Tricep definitions there. And then I like to hit a quick ab and thigh variant afterwards. Onto the back poses, I think my foot position needs to come in a bit closer and have a bit more knee bend so that the legs have more of a diamond shape and they just look bigger, but I'll have to consult an actual posing coach. Anyway, I'm really happy with the definition of my teres muscles. For you Barkey fans, that's the eyes on the demon back, and, being a weeb, always been a big fan of those. Trying to nail the transition into the back double bicep, but it's really hard to do when you're posing blind. On the right side poses, I've been experimenting with a different foot position, and it didn't look the best here today, but when I've got the mirror there and I can focus on flexing the hamstring and seeing the difference between the hamstring and glute, I think they're actually looking pretty good. Kind of makes up for some of the size I'm lacking in the legs. Does make the upper body poses a bit harder though. On the ab and thighs, I think they're looking super crisp today, both with the ab pose, but honestly, especially the vacuum. I think the vacuums here are my specialty, and I'm hoping to maintain that even as I grow. But unfortunately, the legs are still looking a bit soft. Could be because I'm just low energy posing in the morning. Could be because I'm just not lean enough yet. Hard to say. I think I'm getting a lot better at the asymmetrical leg poses, especially the staggered stance. That was like really weak for me before, but now you can see quad definition in the rear leg and hamstring definition silhouette in the front leg, which is nice. And then onto the twisted sort of double biceps. Man, this is a real classic pose, and I think it's my most improved. What I've worked on is just, how bent over I should be, and adding in this extended arm pose. I practice it on both sides. Extended arm poses don't normally look that good for me. I'm not 100% sure why, but I think on this one, it really works quite well. So thanks for sticking this far in the mock prep. We've got another few weeks to go. I think about 4 weeks of cutting, 1 week of refeed, and then a nice little photo shoot.